Okay, here we go. This is the part that scares me. Okay, updated. Not this part. Maybe this part. Updated the speed of unsheathing in combat. This is going to be bad. We're implementing some backend changes to reduce the size of combat animation files to lower their impact on the game's memory. The animation visuals and Alright, look, if you weren't here for the last set of animation changes that they did, this was a problem. I don't know if I already explained why, but basically... So the last noteworthy thing I want to talk about before we wrap up here is the proposed animation changes that we had for the first 4 weeks of the PTS. They reverted these changes in week 5 of the PTS because they were not going well at all, and they better not bring these animation changes back ever, because not only do I not want to see them again, but I don't want to deal with them again. Basically, these animation changes, and I'm still mentioning them because they're going to try and bring these back at some point, maybe. I hope not, but... They removed frames from attack animations and buff animations, and they said that it would not interfere with your ability to light attack, weave, and cast skills, when in reality, it actually did. You lost frames, meaning the synchronization between skills and global cooldowns was all messed up. Not only that, but it looked incredibly bad. Your character was on some sort of Adderall, constantly tweaking out and jittering all over the place, and then time to time, your character would just shove his arm through his face, because he felt like it. Character would be stiff when holding his weapons and tilted 45 degrees to the side. I don't know what was going on there, but the only way you could reasonably test stuff on the PTS without having any problems with your animations or actually missing skills was to be a polymorph, because those retain the old animations that we still have in the game today. And yeah, none of that has changed as of the current patch. Is this even connected? Hello? Hello? Okay, good. Update 48 is bringing back these forsaken and incredibly cursed animation changes, but essentially they're trying to remove attack frames from these animations, your basic attacks and other skills, in order to reduce memory. This memory is not specified. I don't know if it's RAM-related memory or if it's like storage-related memory, but either way you look at it, it just does not make any sense to do this. If it's RAM-related, the animations are likely going to get cancelled anyways and not get fully rendered in. And even if it's not cancelled, the effects tied to the ability would still be more intensive on the memory than the animation itself. And for storage memory, animations are significantly smaller in size than any texture files. Like, I'm not an expert in this, but I've modded games before, and I've made mods for games, so I know that this change essentially does nothing for the memory. The only thing that this does is make the animations look bad, like really bad, and interrupt your ability to combo and weave skills. Even though they said there will be no impact to light attack weaving or animation canceling, they should work as they did before, they are wrong. It works just like it worked when you initially proposed these changes in Update 45, aka not well at all. You still miss skills, and especially light attack weaves, because the animations are no longer synced up to the skills and their global cooldowns. I don't know why they want to make this change that no one asked for so badly, especially when it just keeps getting messed up and looks ugly. But these animations have not caused any problems for a decade at this point, so why are you doing this at all? We're supposed to be going forwards, not backwards. These animations look like pre-alpha animation placeholders for an incomplete game. I could practically count the frames on some of these animations, they are so bad. Like, why are we going backwards? Why are you focusing on this when there are countless other issues in the game and this has never been a problem before? Why am I at a 45-degree offset from my normal idle stance? And even in a perfect world where, say, I can weave properly with these changes and I get a 1% more efficient memory, 1% is very generous, I would still rather have a 1% decrease to my performance so my attack animations don't look like I'm on Adderall and I've never touched a weapon before. Revert this and shelf it, please. Never let this see the light of day. These are just bad and they don't work right. And I'm pretty sure these file into my second complaint, which is the constant crashing on the PTS. Oh, and it crashed. Goodness gracious. These are very likely related to the animation changes, since when you crash, it's not a fatal crash to desktop, but it's a freeze where the game just pauses and then you have to close it through Task Manager. If you have ever intentionally or unintentionally crashed a game or application before, you know that these constant crashes look like what happens when the application runs out of available memory and then just gives up and then freezes. This may not be the source of the crashing, but the only thing that has changed since Update 47 to Update 48 that would likely cause this, in this case, are the animation changes. More evidence to suggest this is that these crashes reliably happen when engaged in combat, using skills, or just holding the heavy attack button and jumping around. Oh, and the game crashed. This is so bad. This is so bad! If you're in the menus and just scrolling around, you're fine. I was on the PTS the other day with my stream, and I was just looking at the Vengeance perks and loadouts for like an hour. There were no crashes, but as soon as I left the menu, started walking around and heavy attacking and testing the Vengeance skills, I will not be playing this. Oh, I crashed again. I have managed to reliably crash this game within 3 minutes of starting the game, and I know this because I ran a test where I started a stopwatch, booted the game, logged in, and just started hitting a target dummy till I crashed. I even tested this with a polymorph, but still ended up with the same result. Other people have this problem too, so it's not just me. When I crash, it tells me to repair the files, and I have. And then I launch the game and crash again. Like, I've tested every new patch on the PTS starting since around update 33, and the state of the PTS for update 48 is by far the worst I have ever experienced. It is unacceptable. There was no QA for this. It's bad enough that I feel the need to make a video on it. And the saddest part of all of this is update 48 is just supposed to be a small update with some bug fixes and some small changes. Not a whole new chapter release with big features. That means people are not willing to go on the PTS and test because there's essentially nothing there to test. And since almost no one is showing up to test on the PTS, no one will be there to report these problems, and this update will likely end up going live in such a poor state. As of the making of this video, it is now week 2 of the PTS, and as far as I've seen, nothing has changed. In fact, we actually have new bugs that are coming with week 2. I'll just explain because I don't want to do a bunch of editing. Alright, so for whenever I end up putting this in the video, I've logged onto the PTS for week 2 just to test and see if the game still crashes and has all those other problems, which, in fact, it does. And I've also come across a brand new bug, and I think I know exactly why this is happening. I'm pretty sure this only affects you if you have a PlayStation controller plugged in, but if we take a look at my skills at the bottom there, you can see it's constantly swapping back and forth between PlayStation and Xbox UI. It's trying to register both my PlayStation controller at the same time as trying to register it as an Xbox controller. And I know this problem pretty well because I've had it in the past. When they originally added PlayStation controller support natively for ESO, I still was using DS4 Windows, and I'd get this exact same problem when I had DS4 Windows open and connected, which is a software which basically tricks my computer into thinking my PS5 controller is actually an Xbox controller, so I can play games that require Xbox controller support, since not all of them natively support PlayStation controllers. However, it has not been opened this entire time, and I'm getting this issue again. And the problem with this is, every time it wants to try and swap between the PlayStation and Xbox controller, I'm losing frames. I'm bleeding frames like crazy. As you can see, just idle in my house, I'm going to 40 FPS. But when I stand still, I go to 100. I get all my frames back. The reason this is happening is probably because they added a change on the PTS where gamepad now properly saves perk selections and vengeance, okay? And then this error message, whatever. This is the only place in the patch notes that has gamepad referenced at all. So this is the only change made since week 1 that has gamepad referenced in it, which is likely why all of a sudden I'm having this problem, where before in week 1 I didn't have this problem where my gamepad would constantly switch between PlayStation and Xbox, okay? So if you have a PlayStation controller, if they don't fix this, good luck playing ESO next patch, because you will be severely limited to your frames, and it might actually make the animations look better. No, okay, they still look absolutely horrendous, and the game just... what is... this doesn't even... I don't even know how to feel about this. Is just actually bad. On top of the issues we've already had, now you can't even use a PlayStation 5 controller. There is still some time for change, since it's only week 2 of the PTS, but it's likely this update will go live as it is in similar condition. And if nothing changes from this PTS cycle, and they decide to keep these cursed combat animation changes, the 6 days I already spend playing ESO every month will more than likely turn into 0 days spent playing ESO every month. This is all compounded by the fact that a lot of my friends have already left ESO behind because of similar, seemingly out-of-touch changes that have been going on for years. All of them are like, when will you notice? I have noticed. In fact, in part with the countless amount of content creators that no longer make content for ESO. Look, I just want to have some faith that ESO is still that same game that I fell in love with all those years ago. I more or less grew up with this game, and it's a friend I'll check in on from time to time. It's just such a hard pill to swallow, especially when there's just nothing else anywhere quite like it. Funny enough, the day I start working on this video, about 2 hours in, I get a ping from the official ESO Discord asking for folks to partake in a survey about the PTS. I'm not even joking. They were asking for feedback about the overall PTS experience and saying, of course, that they are looking forward to our feedback. I filled this out as soon as it was posted. I'm not sure exactly what the timing of this means, but I figured I'd point it out since they have never done this before. I gave them separate feedback regarding the PTS, but here's my feedback regarding Update 48. Remove the animation changes and scrap it completely. Work with your community on future changes and content releases. Sit down with notable players and talk to them. Listen to them. Run polls for new features. And show us that you are listening so we can build the best MMO on the market together. A lot of us have stopped even trying to give you any feedback because we assume it will just be ignored. It's wasted breath on our part and not worth our time. But don't forget that ESO would not exist without its players, so you better take care of them. There are so many issues with ESO at the moment that there is no longer one single pain point like it used to just be with performance issues. Balance makes no sense, performance has only gotten worse, and attempts to communicate fall on deaf ears. I mean, that one's been a problem for a while, but I could talk about so many problems, from bugs to quality of life issues, but I just can't care about it like I used to because this has been going on for literal years. I'm going to keep it short and just mention that Update 48 is bad. Very bad. And I pray it gets fixed, but I'm already planning the future of my content going forward. Look, Zos, you should know that any content creator, any creator, would be more than willing to just sit down with you and talk about the state of things. We're not your enemy. We love this game, but so many of us have already lost hope. Thinking about it though, maybe that's exactly what Zos wants. And yeah, before we close, I'm going to play some bonus clips for you so you can see this for yourself. I'd urge you to hop on the PTS and test these things for yourself and provide feedback on the forums, as it's about the only thing that we can do. But I completely understand if you feel like it is not worth your time at all to do this. I also did a whole discussion stream on the future of ESO. It is 7 hours, but the discussion ends at like hour 4. So you can watch that if you want. And if you want more detailed context. And for all you goobers saying, "Oh, Epic is quitting ESO, OMG." Listen, I'm going to play ESO when I am in the mood for it. Nothing more, nothing less, okay? Anyways, thank you gamers for watching this video, and have a good night. Like, I've been fighting in the Alliance War for years in my character. Oh, and we crashed. It didn't take long, boys! What's the stopwatch say? 3 minutes? 3 minutes? We crashed in 3 minutes? World record speed run? No, 2 minutes and 22 seconds. It wasn't even 3 minutes, and I can't close the game. ESO's the story of what could have been. MMO with all the potential in the world. Great ideas across the board. Just not quite enough passion going to the right place. And the sad part is, optimization and fixing performance doesn't make money. That's why this stuff doesn't get fixed. And then that's why short-term changes like these ugly attack animations are put in, because they're quick and easy fixes rather than actually fixing the core problem. The problem is, these cascade down because you still haven't fixed the issue. You just put a... It crashed in PvE! I'm not even in Vengeance! Oh my gosh! I'm idle in my house! It's like growing up and watching your best friend get cancer, become hospitalized, bedridden, and unable to do anything, and you go and you visit him from time to time at the hospital just to make sure that he's okay. But you just kind of know that long term it's cancer and his chances of beating it are slim to none. And that's kind of what ESO has turned into. It's like, I grew up with this game, I really love like playing it from time to time. It's fun, but I just continue to see the changes and the progression of its health, and it's just so depressing to watch in real time.
Well, and I think what makes it even more frustrating than that is that all of this was completely avoidable.
Yes. 100%.
This is like a self-inflicted gunshot wound. You know what I mean? It's just like, what have you done? Like, why did you do this?
Hello, is ESO a good game?
It was.
It was. Yeah, it was. You'll notice I'll miss a few of these light attacks here and there as well. They just won't come out.
It does look weird.
Are you watching my stream?
Yeah.
Look at this horrible animation for the heavy attack on the two-handed. Can you see it? You can practically see the frames on it. Versus its live server counterpart. And then these light attacks are bad too. Look at this.
I'm surprised
He doesn't follow through anymore, and it looks like he doesn't know how to use a weapon. And then it's so bad with the resto staff too. Check this out. You ready? Why is he standing like this? He's not even looking at the camera anymore. He's off to the side, just gazing.
It's like they built in animation canceling.
How does it feel? Like the
It feels incomplete.
As in you press a button and the action feels incomplete.
It feels like when I go to weave a skill, I miss the skill entirely.
Wow.
It feels janky. It feels just like how the animations look. Like, it's almost there, but not quite. I said it earlier, it feels like a pre-alpha placeholder for an animation. Like a combat system is realized, but it's not implemented properly yet.
That is so weird.
And you can see it too. If I do this, my character like YYs his weapon. For some reason. It's just bad, and it looks bad, and if I keep pressing the combat system, we're gonna crash. And he's also, he's so stiff too. Look at these light attack animations.
What the fuck? That looks so weird.
It looks so bad too. At least the dual wield heavies look a little bit better than they used to, but not by much. You can still see the stutter there on that follow, like that follow through right there.
The follow through looks so fucking weird.
It doesn't look right and it doesn't work right.
Can you hit it on something, the heavy attack?
Yeah. You can see it's even more jittery there, daggum.
Oh my god. It is such a weird follow through.
I mean, I appreciate that they're trying to fix the lag and make the game playable, but I'm not convinced that changing the animations.
Yeah, it's a big problem at all.
Is the thing that is going to.
That's what I was focusing my video around because it's so bad. You can even see it with Race Against Time. Look how jittery this is.
That was the thing that was going wrong all along. It was, boys and girls, it was the animations.
The animations, the same exact animations we've had since the game launched, yeah. There you go, I see I tried to use a crescent and weave with that wrecking blow there. It didn't go off, it just froze. And the worst part is, if I go and I become a polymorph, I get every ability to cast things regularly again. Like, I get the normal combat animations again.
You think that's a PTS thing, or...?
This is the same problem as last time. It's just the new animation changes.
Did you report that last time?
I'm gonna make a video on it. If I report... I did report it last time, too. Just nothing ever happens whenever you report anything in this daggum game. You know this. They're just ignored.
If you listen to the Three Skeevers podcast that we posted 4 years ago, 5 years ago, like we had 50 episodes of this thing and we were bringing content creators on it. One of the topics that we would ask the content creators is like, how do you feel about the current state of the game where we're at that time, right? And there were problems 4 or 5 years ago that were from 2 or 3 years before that. You know, we've never had a good feeling of proper balancing or them making the right decisions. It's always been these weird decisions, like redoing the animation for jabs is a very simple thing. Nobody asked for that, you know, but we're going to allocate our funds and allocate our time to redoing jabs animation, you know, and people are like, what are we doing here? Like, nobody asked for that. You know, you can't fix the block bug, or I'm running on top of my horse still, or, you know, my weapons are under my feet, like all these weird things, you know, but you're going to spend time redoing the jabs animation that nobody asked for. So just very out of touch with what the community is asking for, right? And so that's frustrating. It's frustrating to not have a voice about a game that you love and want to see.